What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a couple new stratagem cards to talk about. Specifically, we're talking about a couple of new stratagems which are, well, they're actually designed to help old cards. So the deal with stratagem cards in Wave 5 generally is that common stratagems help cards that are actually in Wave 5, better for sealed play, whereas rare stratagems tend to be a little bit better for helping out older characters. So let's start off, and this is a particularly cool story, by having a little bit of a chat about Camion Toughness. You see, this was revealed by the lovely folks over at Blues on Attack. I will give you I'll pop a link to their channel in the description. Go check them out. Good dudes. Pushing the community forward, you know my deal by now. Just make sure you give them a little bit of love, would you? And there was a community-run tournament trying to make the best Windblade deck. And the winner was Blues on Attack. And completely unbeknownst to people running the tournament or taking part in the tournament, etc., the Transformers people gave the reveal to Blues on Attack for winning the tournament. Or not really a tournament, so much as a competition. So that's pretty good. And it does help Windblade Combine Hunter, the secret rare or super rare from Wave 2. And it reads, your Windblade Combine Hunter has +1 defense and +1 health. And it costs 1 star. Stratagems tend to cost stars. Which then, of course, leads us to the fairly obvious question of, alright, is this enough to make Windblade playable? Because the answer might be no. It's lovely that we're getting a new Windblade card to help out, and the fact that they completely out of the blue dropped it on the winner of this little competition was such an awesome move on Transformers' part. I've said before many times that they are such a phenomenal company for really helping the community and giving to us. It's so awesome. But does it make Windblade any good? I mean, essentially, it turns Windblade from a 12-star character to a 13-star character, which is extremely expensive, and it goes from a 14 health 2 defense to a 15 health 3 defense. Now, to be fair, 15 health is alright, and 3 defense is pretty good, but you're still rocking a 13-star character, which becomes extremely expensive. And the attack of 5 or 6 is pretty nice, but there are cheaper characters where we can have that kind of attack or better. Now, the biggest problem with Windblade really is bot mode. When this attacks an enemy combiner, each of your characters gets Pierce 4 until end of turn. Now, on the one hand, this can be really, really good against combiners, especially if you play something like all-out attack, so that all of your characters can attack, and they've all got Pierce 4, and you can just go nuts against a combiner. The problem is, we've not really seen much love for combiners, like, at all. Combiners aren't a big part of the metagame right now. The real exception to this is the aerial bot, Superion. Superion has seen a little bit of play. We saw a top 8 finish at ACC 2019. We saw a top 8 finish at the Pro Play Tour in Columbus. We've seen a little bit of play and a little bit of love for Superion, but that really is it. We certainly have not seen enough to make it something we want to be really teching against. In a combiner-heavy metagame, Windblade becomes awesome, and this stratagem becomes great. Outside of that, now to be fair, it does have an awesome alt mode. When you flip to this mode, reveal the top card of your deck. If it has battle icons of at least 2 different colours, you may play it. So any dual icon card, whether it's wedge formation or bashing shield or anything along those lines, you do then get to play straight away. And although it is reveal the top card of your deck, it's not really the end of the world here. You've got planning, where you just put a card on top of your deck, like wedge formation, or something like incoming transmissions. There's plenty of ways to manipulate the top card of your deck, and then get to play an extra card. The problem is, Windblade hasn't really seen any real play or success since it was revealed. And I'm not entirely sure why we would then go playing it now. I don't know if boosting up the health and the defense by 1 each is enough to turn this from a to an ooh. And I think that's a bit of a problem. I'd like to be wrong, but I do unfortunately get the idea here. I do get a little bit worried that we're in a situation where we've got a character which has been underwhelming that does get a slight boost, but not enough to make it any more than a little bit underwhelming. But the good news is we do have another option. We've had another new stratagem card revealed, Better Things to Do Than Die, that was revealed by WTF at TFW. Great series of podcasts, always worth a listen. So do make sure you go and subscribe. Again, let's give love to the people doing these reveals and let Transformers know that we love these reveals. And this is for Autobot Springer, or Springer Aerial Defense as it actually is. And it's again a 1-star stratagem, all the ones we've seen so far have been. When your Springer Aerial Defense is on the battlefield and you flip him to another mode, repair 1 damage from him. And here's the thing. When I first looked at this card, I got super excited. Because you see, we've got a Springer at the moment that sees a lot of play and everybody really likes. It is the Sergeant Springer Special Ops Aerial Defense that we saw back in Wave 4. And it's a really good one. Because when you flip to either of the alt modes, you get to scrap a card from your hand, action in alt mode 1, upgrade in alt mode 2, and then draw 2 cards. And then you're trying to build up into bot mode, or if you've got 7 or more cards in hand, you may play an action and then an upgrade. So in this case, it would be awesome. You're already flicking around every turn anyway, and you can be healing up regularly, and you've got 16 health, and it's a card that's already seeing play, so there's not really any reason other than, I suppose, you just might not actually physically have 1 star to spare to play this. This seems really good. I'm in love with it. Then I realized it's not that Springer. It is the Autobot Springer with the very similar name, but it's Autobot Springer, not Sergeant Springer. And then I'm a lot less happy about it. Because you see, this card is not as good and does not see as much play. Now, this was actually confirmed by the lovely Drew Nolosco, the brand manager for the game, over on the Facebook group. So this is official, and now it makes me kind of sad. Now, what's interesting is that they've both got very similar names, but this is Autobot Springer Aerial Defense, not Sergeant Springer Aerial Defense. So although they're called Springer Aerial Defense, and they both have that in their name, it's not the same, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, the newer one is Special Ops Aerial Defense. And it's not as good. And there's many reasons why it's not as good. Chief among them, the first thing we need to say is, this card is already not seeing play. This card has been out for 2 waves and hasn't really made any dent on the metagame. So anytime you've got that kind of situation, you need to think, is this stratagem, is the advantage given by this stratagem going to be enough to turn it from a card that isn't played to a card that is played? And it can be a lot of healing, but here's the problem. This is not a card you're flicking around. In alt mode 1, you've got higher defense and tough 2, so this is your defending mode. This is your I'm tanking a bit mode. In alt mode 2, you've got bold 2 and higher attack. This is your I'm playing an aggressive deck attacking mode. Or you go over into bot mode and your stats are actually bad across the board, the lowest attack of any of the 3 modes, and defense down there with alt mode 2, but you get Pierce 3, so that's if you're playing a Pierce deck. This is not a character where you necessarily want to be flicking between modes every turn. in the way that you would do if you were playing around with the other Springer. And that basically leads me to my conclusion. Look, the fact of the matter is, if you flick to another mode, you get to heal 1 damage. So that can potentially get you healing 1 damage every single turn. And it is when you flip to another mode, it doesn't say that it has to be your flip for the turn. So all of a sudden, you can use stuff like Rollout. Or you can use stuff like Rapid Conversion. And all of a sudden, they heal you as well. And of course, if you play Rapid Conversion, you heal 1. Then you flick back, you heal another 1. Don't get too excited, right? It's not any real better than Medic. But my point is, it's fine, and it's nice, and it's helpful, and it's lovely. But I don't think it's enough to make a character that wasn't seeing play see play. I'd love to be wrong. I would love to see a Wave 2 healing Springer deck come around and start going nuts. That would make me super happy. I just don't think it's on the cards, pun intended. If this worked for the other Springer, I'm all in. I think it's worth the star. I think you're playing an already good character that's already flipping around regularly, and it is definitely worth the 1-star investment. But I don't think it's going to take a card that's not seeing play and make it see play, which I know was basically my conclusion for the Windblade stratagem we saw as well, and yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. But I would like to know what you think about these 2 stratagems, and I'd like to know if they change your opinion on either of these characters. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus pods, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.